Here we go.
Here we go.
Vondi.
Hi everyone, I'm David Vonderhaar, Studio Design Director at Treyarch. Welcome to the multiplayer reveal of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. On behalf of the teams at Treyarch and Raven and all our development partners across the world, thank you for joining us. Today, we do a little recon across all Black Ops Cold War multiplayer. The world, the missions, the weapons, the characters, and the systems. And you know, we'll make some fun announcements along the way. From here on out, we talk directly to you, the best fans in gaming.
Well, I don't know about that, but we try.
The show is a big cast of characters from across the studio, along with some of your favorite Call of Duty content creators and streamers.
Okay.
One thing you've come to expect from a Black Ops game is that we are never quite satisfied with the status quo. We are always looking for a way to do it better. But some things shouldn't change, and for every multiplayer game we make, one thing hasn't: how we start things off.
Okay.
This is the worldwide debut of the Black Ops Cold War multiplayer trailer.
Oh shit, dude. I got chills already and we haven't seen anything. Hello guys, what is going on, and welcome back to the SKIRATA Gaming channel for another Call of Duty video. I'm your host, Original Bon Jovi. This is not our typical upload. We're not looking at anything in Modern Warfare, or BO4, or World War II, nothing like that. We're just going to be reacting to the multiplayer reveal for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. In the video, I'm watching it live as it's happening, so I add a bit of commentary here and there. I'm reacting to what Treyarch is showing us, but for the most part, we're watching what they've got in store for the next Call of Duty. Now, before we get into that, I want to remind you guys to sub to the channel. We've uploaded 252 days in a row now, and we bring you guys new Call of Duty content every single day. We're getting very close to 1,000, and your support would be greatly appreciated as we go into the new game. Now, by way of a few concluding remarks, just based on how everything played out, I think the game looks phenomenal. They kind of take the best of Modern Warfare and mix it with the traditional Black Ops experience. We do have the Gunsmith coming back from Modern Warfare, as well as the Battle Pass and different seasons. The only major concern that I have based on what I've seen is that Requisitions appears to be coming back. If you guys remember what happened in World War II, Requisitions was the perk that allowed you to continue to build up your streaks even if you died before getting them. So basically, if you put on a ball turret gunner and you died 50 times, as long as you got enough kills to unlock it, you could still call in your streak. I played World War II for a couple hours yesterday, and I noticed it quite severely, and I'm a little disappointed that they'll be including it in the game. But there are other workarounds. They've kind of found a good balance between different features that I think will prevent it from becoming that big of a problem. And with regard to skill-based matchmaking, of course, they haven't said anything about that in the world reveal. I wouldn't expect them to. But we're going to talk about that in another video later on. So without further ado, guys, let's get into it. Okay. PS5 gang.
Threat neutralized.
Oh.
You're here because you're the best special forces NATO has to offer.
We're all that keeps the world from turning to cinders, comrades.
We work off the books
Operate in the shadows.
to keep the wolves at bay.
Today, we reshape the world.
What the fuck are we doing
Miami. Looks like the map from the leaked gameplay a few days ago.
Let them come.
Holy. I wonder what game mode that would be.
Go, go, go!
Okay, boarding is shit. I like it.
Secure the sub.
I'll take care of this.
Huh. Angola. Alright. Yeah, we've seen footage of this too before. Leaked footage. So like ground war, maybe maybe Warzone. I don't know.
Ah, shit.
Soviet convoy
Uzbekistan.
disabled.
Oh,
I'll drive.
looks like a good time to me. Snowmobile versus tank. RCXD, baby. Okay, this looks so cool. I want to see more in-game footage, though. Okay, okay, I like it. There's a lot to like about this multiplayer, I can tell already.
Get early access to the open beta and instant access to the Woods Operator Pack in Modern Warfare and Warzone.
Okay. We're not done yet.
You just saw it. This is an unapologetically Cold War game set in the 80s.
It's cool.
But it's still a Black Ops game. And for over a decade, we built our multiplayer experiences atop a core set of guiding principles. They form our pillars: deniable operations that deploy around the world, signature combat tailored to how you play,
Okay.
connected experiences that deliver free, robust, ongoing content, and integrate deeply into the next evolution of Warzone. Today, we're going to explore each of these facets of multiplayer.
Means more battle
We're going to
pass,
show
probably.
you how this globe-trotting, cinematically connected experience is our most immersive yet. And then, we're going to show it to you in a way we never could before, with a little help from some friends.
I'm looking
First
forward to
up,
that.
the
That'll
bedrock
be
of Black
fun.
Ops, deniable operations. These are the places in multiplayer you never saw, and the things you never did. The
Okay.
missions that stay off the books, and the targets and sources who stay off the record. The Cold War we set out to build is realistic. It's plausible. Most importantly, it's inspired by a gritty historical tone that we've woven into every element of our game's world and story and gameplay.
Okay.
Chaotic and always confidential, the deniable ops lie at the heart of multiplayer, raising the bar while creating a clear and unique narrative that influences every bit of our world building. For Black Ops Cold War, that world building drove each multiplayer level in two ways: with the signature level design you've come to expect, and by pushing the visual
3-lane
bar
maps,
and immersing
baby.
players into a
Yes, sir.
narrative of unfolding events. The fight to recover a downed satellite in the Central African desert, battles that unfold on the neon-soaked streets of Miami's famed
Wow.
South Beach. Deniable Ops are the Black Ops stories inspired by history, but forgotten by the history books.
Interesting.
We've selected 5 maps to give you a small taste of the range of deniable ops awaiting in multiplayer. Later today, you'll see them played. But here's a few of my teammates to share what they love most from how they were made.
My name is Brittany Beidelman. I'm a level designer.
I'm Kendall Snow, Associate Level Designer.
I'm Brittany Perello, producer.
I'm Matt Kutris, senior level designer.
In Satellite, a top-secret American recon satellite
Has lost power and crashed in the deserts of Angola. With higher DGI forces closing in,
now it's a race to secure the crash site.
what I love about Satellite is the fact that it's just this amazing natural space.
Because larger maps have more components, we can apply more details into maps like Satellite, which make them feel even more natural. The satellite at the center is like a king of the hill. Anyone who wants it has to run toward you because it's raised higher than the
Interesting.
rest of the map.
I'm usually playing one of 2 ways: all in, full ham, dying again and again. Or in objective modes, I'll flank and get the jump on people. Satellite scratches both of those itches.
Okay.
Even though it's an outdoor space, the map's 2 different regions mean I can play long and short range tactics.
I'll be
Tactical
honest,
sitting.
I am
I
trash
can't
with
wait.
a sniper rifle, but a shotgun, that I can do. I have
Incendiary,
always been
maybe?
a big fan of close quarters combat, and there is great cat and mouse style gameplay in Satellite.
The crash satellite is a super fun spot to try and outplay your enemies. Predict which way they'll circle the debris to run up behind them, or just duck inside the satellite and take your shot.
Okay.
This is going to be one of those classic Black Ops maps the world knows and loves for how quickly engagements fire up. East and West collide on the open seas in a top-secret mission.
Inspired by a real-life event, Project Azorian, CIA, JSOC, and Soviet forces converged to recover a sunken prototype nuclear Soviet submarine from the ocean floor.
The calm waters of Armada explode into massive
This will be
naval
really
conflict
interesting.
as players battle for control of large naval vessels.
With no lanes walling you in, players can engage on ships' decks, in the water, and on vehicles like wake runners and gunboats. Armada is chaos in the best way.
This really cool map that gives this amazing sense of exploration. There are so many little individual areas to find, and new
It's got to be
ways
like a
to
ground war type of
surround
map. I
or
mean, there's
flank
no way
your
that this is
enemies
just
and
a
get the
standard
upper hand.
multiplayer map, you know?
A hidden safe house has been discovered right in the heart of the USSR,
Huh.
in the shadow of Moscow's opulent train station. With Spetsnaz dispatched, the area has gone hot.
So the Moscow map is set in the dead heart of a big city.
Piccadilly.
So you're wandering through these
Oh,
streets
God.
with a bunch of cars, and there's tall buildings on either side of you.
There's this sense that you've been dropped into a point in history.
That'll be cool. That'll be cool. I can't wait to try this out.
First thing I do is run right to the center, because that's where all lanes cross in the Moscow map. And eventually, it doesn't take long, people are going to run through the metro station. So you can just
Wow.
sit there and wait, but chances are there's going to be people running right into your line of fire right off the bat.
It's a classic 3-lane map where teamwork
Thank
really
God,
makes
dude.
the
Thank
dream work.
God. A normal
January
map. I
17th,
can't wait.
1984. This location is heavily influenced by Miami's famous, or perhaps infamous, Ocean Drive.
Okay.
This
okay.
is a night map, but one unlike players have seen before.
You can sneak through dark, shadowy alleys, go out onto the beach, out into the ocean,
You can dive in the water and wade along the coast to get the drop on the other side.
or you can just go right down the street and bask in the neon light.
The first time I played through Miami, I could hear this 80s nightclub music playing through the walls
kinda
of
cool.
buildings. The little details make it lifelike, and it becomes this joy to experience.
Huh.
Basically, my goal is to never be on the main street in the center, because that is sniper heaven. And that
Shoot house
is
anyone?
Brittany hell. So I
Yeah.
always go and try to flank and get those snipers from the back.
Okay.
Our art and design teams worked really hard to bring the best possible night experience to the players. You'll see that play out when you sneak in the shadows on the beach, or engage enemies in the center strip.
It really makes people feel like they're in Miami in the 80s. It's pretty cool.
That is cool. Very cool, actually.
In Crossroads, NATO has learned a large Soviet missile convoy is on its way to the border.
Special forces dispatch alongside MI6 to ambush the convoy and secure the weapons before all hell breaks
Oh,
loose.
jeez.
Soviet convoy disabled.
It's one of our most cinematic maps with a boots on the ground feel that feels pulled from the campaign.
Your team will want to hold down and protect its own outpost to guarantee access to one of these tanks. But infantry combat doesn't take a backseat in Crossroads, as natural
Good.
terrain and foliage masks movements and provides tactical advantages.
There's a bunch of snowmobiles when you first
More
spawn,
tactical
and it's a
sitting, like
mad
I
dash
said.
to grab one. And now, running people over with the snowmobile is my favorite thing to do.
Of course.
Each environment
Gotta love it.
changes the dynamic of how you play and caters to unique loadouts. Crossroads is a bigger map, and that allows you to play the way you want to play.
The beaches of Miami, a frozen over lake, the open ocean. Our visual research department racked up miles visiting them all. Because if
that's
you're going to
cool.
deploy around the globe in this game, that required them to do the same. The mission for our artist is absolute authenticity. Step
I
one
like
in that
that.
process is photo scanning thousands of real-world objects, terrains, and materials. Those assets ensure our upgraded, physically based renderer delivers the best-looking Black Ops yet. True 4K, high dynamic range with a true color and tone, ray tracing on systems that support it, photometric lighting courtesy of our Luminaire system, and overhauled contour terrain system. The result is gritty, it's believable, I dare say it's got ambience. Most importantly, it sets the perfect stage for multiplayer combat.
Definitely a good road to
On
take
that
with
note,
this game.
Here's Matt with more on the modes
Compared to
and missions
BO3 and
ahead.
BO4, the more
We've
like
talked a little
science
bit about
fiction
where
of the
you'll
games.
play, but let's talk about what you'll play when you get there. In Black Ops Cold War,
Hi, Matt.
our classic game modes are returning and they're better than ever. From the tried and true Team Deathmatch, Domination, and Search and Destroy, to the return of the competitive game mode Control, we've taken a fresh eye to all of your favorites. We're encouraging more meaningful gameplay with larger capture zones and Domination.
Okay.
We're updating spawn systems and hardpoint.
Thank God.
And now we show you where the next hardpoint will spawn so you can regroup, rotate, and set up for the next
Oh, really?
fight. Across
So they're
all of
catering
our
to new
classic
players
modes,
with that.
We're working hard to make this the most rewarding.
You don't need to
and
know the
competitive
rotation anymore.
multiplayer
You can just
experience yet.
follow the
And while your go-to
map.
modes are coming back better
Okay.
than ever,
Kinda
let's
weird.
talk about the innovative new modes you'll be going to next.
Not sure I'm a fan
With
of that, but
let
we'll
me
see.
introduce you to my teammate Marquise Gladney, who's here to tell you about the brand new multiplayer experience we call VIP Escort.
VIP Escort, all right.
VIP Escort began with a question. How can we create a game mode inspired by the kind of real-life, totally true, but completely redacted Black Ops that first inspired this franchise? The result is Extraction in its purest form, a new 6-on-6 objective-based game mode we call VIP Escort. In Black Ops, we normally task you with fighting, but VIP Escort turns that on its head with a new mechanic. If you're selected as the VIP, your #1 job, it's to live.
So they have to protect
In
you,
this
right?
team-based op, your
Yep.
team will try to escort you off the map or eliminate the other team trying to stop you. As VIP, you'll skip creative class. You're too important after all. Instead, you'll deploy with a kitted out pistol, a smoke grenade, a spy plane for team intel,
Oh,
and a
gross.
whole lot of hope that your team knows what the hell it's doing. The mission? Stay alive and escape the map. To do so, you'll need to reach one of 2 possible exfil sites, which rotate over the course of the match to keep teams on their toes. There are stakes here. If you die, that ends the round. But team up and you can get your squad back on their feet
So
quickly.
it can go pretty
via
quick
last
if you don't have a
stand
pre-made
and
party,
revive.
I assume. Oh.
Each team's choices and tactics create layers of strategy and counterplay, injecting the best of Black Ops themes.
Just gotta have people who know what they're
directly into this
doing, right?
competition. Will
Pub
your team
stomping
pull
is
Cold War
returning.
mind games and misdirection by splitting up the squad to draw fire and create distractions for the VIP? Or is a full-on assault more their style? Will they travel ahead and scout, run protection detail, or take a bullet for you Secret Service style? My personal keys to victory? I stick close and escort the VIP and defend them at all costs. If the VIP doesn't make it out alive, it won't matter if you do. This new deniable operation only scratches the surface of what it means to play Cold War multiplayer.
Like it.
Up next, we want to share another new way to play that goes above and beyond that classic 6v6 experience you've come to expect. Combined Arms is where multiplayer gets bigger and badder, bringing together the best of multiplayer's large-scale battles by combining infantry and vehicular gameplay into a single cohesive combat experience.
Oh,
In
no.
Combined Arms Domination, players will deploy into 12 versus 12 battles, each customized
Okay.
and unique to its own environment.
Huh.
But these battles aren't just bigger
So
and
it is more like
chaotic.
Ground War.
We've worked hard to ensure the 2 levels of boots on the ground and all-out vehicular warfare complement and enhance one another on each map. Tanks, snowmobiles, wake runners, gunboats, and more. These vehicles amplify the action, sure, but they also create jaw-dropping moments right in the middle of the fight. The way I personally play Combined Arms depends on my mood.
I feel
If
that.
I'm going for the win, it's rally time, and I'm pushing to capture every objective on the map. Whether that means loading up a gunboat on Armada or popping smokes so my team can cross the frozen lake in Crossroads. I'm putting my try-hard pants on and making it happen. And that's the thing. In Combined Arms, almost anything can happen. I'll seek out fun moments that aren't possible in other modes, like ziplining onto the enemy's ship and seeing how long I can last before getting taken out. At launch, you can expect even more Combined Arms maps and modes, each tailored and tuned to bring the most fun, frenetic action this format can deliver. Take Armada, our most unique map to date.
Definitely.
You saw earlier that the only life preservers on this sea-based map are your tactics, as each capture zone requires a different approach. Will you attack surgically with a 2-seater wake runner, gather your squad and storm the main ship? From zip lines that traverse the map to all new naval tactics, Armada is Combined Arms Domination realized, bringing high stakes, high-speed combat to the high seas. On Crossroads, you'll trade your wetsuit for a snowsuit, fighting for control of Soviet bunkers across the frozen tundra.
Okay.
With high-powered tanks patrolling the frozen lake and surrounding roads, you'll need to choose how to take on those slow movers. So whether you're hopping onto a snowmobile for a quick flank or rolling up your sleeves and sticking on some C4, the story is yours to write in Combined Arms Domination. That's it for deniable operations for now.
Interesting.
We've ziplined, crossed frozen lakes, and dipped into Miami's beaches. But it's really just the start of the full deniable ops experience. Add up the work on your favorite classic game modes to the arrival of new modes like VIP Escort
Show
and
us the
Combined Arms
creators.
Domination.
I'd like
And
to
it
see
all
Nuke
stacks
Down
up to
too,
our
but
most ambitious multiplayer yet. One you can play any way you want
we'll get that
and in
soon
new
enough,
ways
no
you never
doubt.
expected. If you're a Call of Duty League fan, we have a bunch of new stuff lined up just for you. Stay tuned. This may be a multiplayer game built for everyone, but these will be your deniable operations. And now, I'll turn it over to Tony to talk about what we mean when we say signature combat.
Thanks, Matt. Now, a lot has changed for us since the first Black Ops game.
Say
From
that
our
again.
development pipelines to totally new technologies, but some things haven't changed. And after over a decade of making Black Ops games, we're more inspired than ever to keep honing in on that authentic, classic Black Ops feel, all while taking it to new heights. Now we know that to you, combat is more than just pointing and shooting. It's about how your operator moves and weaves through your surroundings. It's feeling the power of your weapon, how it reacts in your hands. It's the sound of bullets storming past you, the rattle and bang of firing your weapon. In Cold War, we're back to plausible, authentic, boots-on-the-ground combat. And that has
There we
allowed us
go.
to not only refine the feel of the game, but build on all the classic foundations of Black Ops. Heads-up gameplay, automated healing, and grounded movement. Keeping
No more
your
stim
player
shot.
experience in the front of our minds has
I'm happy
also
about that,
inspired a
for
fresh
sure.
wave of thinking across our creative class and Scorestreaks system, where we're introducing features that bring unprecedented transparency to your
Put the
planning
shotgun
and
away.
cinematic wow moments to when you're playing. Now, innovating systems while still capturing that signature Black Ops super smooth feel is a notoriously tricky thing to get just right.
Yeah, for sure.
And we put everything we have into it for each game. This is an absolute team effort, so I brought some of my friends from the combat team to help tell you about our initiatives for this game and how they've resulted in signature combat that feels just right. Here's Max Porter to start us off.
We've taken lessons learned from across Black Ops and the entire Call of Duty franchise to land on a truly best-in-class weapon experience. The gun is almost always right in front of you and must look great. From a gun's seams down to its grime, the level of detail in Black Ops Cold War has never been higher. But our weapons also need to move in a realistic manner. You'll feel
That's
it in
something
this
that
game,
Modern Warfare
whether you're
did do
clocking
really
from long
well.
range or firing from the hip. When we think about a gun, we think about the way it looks, the way it's going to move, but a big part of a gun's personality is the sound that it makes. It's like the bark of a dog.
Yeah.
We're sort of imagining all these guns as characters. That just adds to that level of realism and that sort of immersive quality that is unique to Call of Duty. It's this multifaceted approach to how weapons look, animate, and sound that together defines the feel of Cold War's signature gunfighting experience. Here's Alvin with a debrief on some of the other combat systems waiting for you in Cold War.
Let's talk about two of the most significant and impactful features of multiplayer: Create a Class and Scorestreaks.
Okay.
Our goal with Create a Class in Cold War is to empower you without making trade-offs. This year, better starts with simpler. Create a Class will be a slot-based system. No longer governed by allocations or the Pick-10 system, you'll always boast a full class of a primary, secondary, lethal, tactical,
Like
field
Modern
upgrade,
Warfare.
and a set of
Yep.
perks. Field upgrades are items placed in the world to give your team an advantage.
Hmm.
You can earn them solely based on time, not score. And they are the only type of game content that works on a cooldown that lasts after death. Now, wild cards are back. In this system,
Okay.
in every class, you can pick one of 4 wild cards that let you do things like load your primary weapon with up to 8 attachments, carry up to 6 perks, double the number of lethals and tacticals you have, or carry 3 primary perks from any mix of categories. Of course, a key component of Create a Class
The
is
gunsmith.
the gunsmith.
Yep.
In Black Ops Cold War, There are more optics and attachments to unlock and configure.
Again, this is what they did really well in Modern Warfare.
Weapon can be customized with 54 attachments across 8 different modes or attachment points, with at least 6 options per attach point. By default, you can equip 5 attachments or 8.
The class setup videos will be endless.
First time, Gunsmith will show you what equipping an attachment does as a positive or negative percentage. You can now build backwards, speccing out the perfect gun for results you want to see in the field. This takes the guesswork out of the system and helps us on our never-ending quest to make the most balanced Call of Duty game you've ever played. There's one more thing I need to talk about. First up, we've updated Scorestreaks so that earned score is kept through death. This change gives all players a chance to engage with Scorestreaks.
You've got to be
visceral and
kidding
fun
me.
experiences across multiplayer's signature combat. If you do go on a streak and string together multiple kills before your own death, streak score bonuses help you earn into those higher.
Wait, so is that like requisitions in World War II?
Each score streak will go on a cooldown after it's used to pace out frequency. So, what score streaks are we talking about?
So like you save your score and then you earn them no matter what?
But we've also got a few surprises. Score streaks in Cold War can be used in all the classic ways. To aid in taking an objective, to save your team, to break up the pace of the game with a fun new experience. We've also tailored strategy into the system, as score streaks can often be neutralized with a counter score streak. And now I'll pass it over to Sunny to share more about our operators and how they move in Black Ops Cold War.
Operators? Oh boy.
Elites, covert, powerful. When you play as a Cold War operator, you won't just step into the boots of a highly trained precision instrument. Every movement will have a purpose. To increase the fidelity and feel of even the smallest elements, modelers, animators, and concept artists all work side by side, planning for every point of contact with every gun, every stance and position, every scenario. Thanks to increased dynamic bone counts, we've been able to enhance the effects of physics and gravity on what you carry, from the weight of your gear, like pouches and grenades, to the way a wallet chain or rope sways as you sprint. Your entire operator will move
That's
more
actually
naturally
crazy.
than ever. Here's 4 specific ways movement has improved through new cutting-edge techniques in animation and programmatic movement. The first is sprint takeoff. This is the feature that gives your operator a running start. You start with a little sprint and then it slows down to normal speed. This lets you feel the momentum of like where you're going and where you're going to end up. We wanted to preserve the fluidity and fun of an operator's ability to slide. In Black Ops Cold War,
we gotta
when
have
you
the
slide,
sliding.
you start and end in a crouch position in a believable way. This allows 2-player movement states to function better as one,
I
all
like
while
that.
improving gameplay and enhancing pace. Footstep control also plays a big part of the new movement system. Go faster and you'll make more noise. Of course, we still have Ninja as a perk, but Ninja is no longer the only way to keep quiet. Whether or not you're crouched, how loud you get is now directly tied to how fast you're moving. Lastly, we've incorporated a classic jump.
I mean,
with
it
a
makes
much more
sense. It
natural
might get
height,
kind of
which
annoying,
will very briefly slow you down on landing. Our goal in all of these movement mechanics is to ensure operators actually
Sorry, jump
not just
shotters.
authentic, but intuitive.
Oh,
When
man.
you press a
This
button
might not be
or
your
a
game.
key, you should always feel in control of your operator. And this system has been built to translate your decisions into dynamic movement more seamlessly than ever. The era of the game might be the 80s, but the characters you play will move and shoot like the world's most highly skilled operators.
Signature combat. It isn't just how a gun is shot, it's how that gun feels, how it sounds, how it's designed to create a combat experience. And combat isn't just about conflict, it's also movement. So the fluid ways in which your operators shift around the AO and carry the gear you outfit them in is just as important as the choices you give them. Choices like the overhauled Create class system, or all those attachment possibilities in Gunsmith, or the new ways you can earn and deploy score streaks in the thick of battle. These combat initiatives work together to deliver the most intuitive,
I love the music,
plausible,
you know?
authentic, boots on the ground experience possible.
I feel nostalgic
And they're
when I
at the
hear
heart
this.
of Black Ops Cold War. Now on that note, I'd like to introduce Miles, who's going to discuss some of the biggest innovations yet.
Thanks, Tony. All right, everyone, let's talk Warzone. You've seen how we're pouring it all into the Cold War multiplayer experience, but let's confirm it right here, right now. Black Ops Cold War will also usher in the next evolution of Call of Duty Warzone, continuing and expanding the blockbuster Battle Royale free-to-play experience. and it'll be a true evolution, with Warzone not merely picking up where the Modern Warfare
Anti-cheat.
climax left off narratively, but also interweaving the themes, locations, weapons, and vehicles of Black Ops Cold War right into the action. Cold War and Warzone will also share post-launch content from a narrative standpoint across both the Battle Pass system
Wonder how that'll work.
and item shop content.
Two different time zones.
This interlinks Call of Duty in ways that evolve the Warzone experience while delivering jaw-dropping moments. So yeah, you can expect some surprises along the way. One surprise we're avoiding is the feeling of starting over. It's important to us that you can still use your characters and weapons and progression-related items.
The
which is why
M4,
investment
Bruin,
and
the
progress
Finn.
in Cold War is reflected in Warzone.
Can't wait.
While these are two very big games, from
Oh
the
my.
beginning, they've been built to work together. Your player experience is everything to us. So we're making sure Black Ops Cold War and Warzone share progression, with much of your previously earned Modern Warfare content, from weapons to cosmetics, still available for use in both Warzone and Modern Warfare. We're collaborating with our studio partners across Call of Duty to preserve continuity while building a new chapter of Warzone that'll immerse you into all of the best elements of Black Ops Cold War. That's multiple studios totally committed to continuing this new tradition of insanely fun, absurdly accessible
That is kinda
Warzone
cool.
action. We can't wait for you to see how Verdansk
I'm glad they're
all
not
of Call
just
of
making
Duty
a
will
completely
evolve in
new
your
game
head.
every
But
year,
that
you
sense
know?
of interconnectedness, it extends beyond just Warzone.
Like going from Blackout
That's
to
why I'm
Warzone.
excited
That
to
was kind of
confirm
a
that Black Ops
mess.
Cold War will not only support cross-platform play
Okay.
and progression, but will also deliver cross-generation play to the game. That's because Black Ops Cold War is, at its heart, a connected experience. And playing together on whatever platforms you prefer only betters that experience. Cross-play and cross-progression across current and next-generation systems across all modes. That won't be easy, but it's worth it to allow fans who have never had a chance to play together to squad up and deploy, no barriers between them.
Thank God.
And with the
Keep-
Battle
the-
Pass system
we knew they were going to
delivering
keep
a steady
crossplay,
stream
but
of post-launch content,
Battle
Black
Pass,
Ops
yep.
Cold War will be the very first cross-platform, cross-generation Call of Duty experience, making it the deepest game in franchise history.